All right, guys. So we are here with Tami McVay, Marine Corps vet and founder of One of the Few. Let me tell you about Tami really quick. So this is a woman who I met at the Danelle Delgado Mastermind. And this mastermind was one of the very few groups I've ever invested in. And I can say that I get it now. It's because it brings you to women and other human beings like Tami. And so we're going to sit with Tami today. This is live, which is so special. I know most of the podcast recordings are actually done via streaming, but Tami and I are both here in Colorado. So we got to actually get together today. So hopefully you can feel our energy. Tami, thank you for being here.
Oh, I'm so excited. I just love your energy, and the fact that we're like right around the corner from each other is even better. So it's fun watching your journey too, and having your energy in the mastermind group is, definitely a game changer as well. So never sell yourself short there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're too good to me. Okay. So Tami, before we jump into the area that we are going to talk about unjuggling and something that you have unjuggled, tell us a little bit about your story, because I really think that there are just some gems in there for anybody who's walking through that season of their life. Tell us, like, who are we talking to today?
Wow, like it has been such a ride. And I feel like one of my superpowers is because of my journey, like just to have this big picture view of things that most people can't see. Is so when I was in high school, like I was an honor student, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And nobody told me that college, it was this big expensive thing. And nobody told me it was okay to go and not know what you wanted. And so the military had always interested me. And so I shocked everybody, and I just joined the Marine Corps on New Year's Eve, my senior year of high school. And so at 17, I enlisted, and then I did 4 years with that. And it was an amazing experience. And I find that as I've gotten older, I realized how much that shaped the way I think, the way I'm willing to take risks, my drive, all that. And so I moved out to Colorado. I got a job for an engineering firm, and I didn't have any computer experience other than doing my resume at the time. This was even before the internet came out. And I know, right? It sounds ancient. And so they brought me on. It was only supposed to be a 3-month temporary gig, and I picked things up really fast. And so they kept me, and I stayed there for 20 years and left 3 months shy of my 20th anniversary to do my own thing. And so now for the last, it's been 12 years now, which is insane to me.
Wow.
I've just been doing my own thing as an entrepreneur, and it's been a wild ride.
Wild ride. Okay, so before we get into your entrepreneurial journey, which even just hearing that is your story already up to that point. I'm like, I need to know so much more. Okay, so one thing that I actually hear often from folks is like, oh, I want to hit this particular date in corporate before I leave. And I caught that you happen to say you left just shy of 20 years. Can you elaborate on that? And did you struggle with that date, or like, how did you know, or what was happening? Like, I need to know more around that particular moment.
Well, so I just started to have this craving for something different. Like I just, when you work with it was a great company. And when you work with the same people for so long, the projects may change, but the players, who you can go to, which ones are going to, be a little pain. It's so predictable. And so I just started to have that ache, and I kind of kept pushing it aside. And I found myself, as I was having conversations, you and I are out to lunch. I'd be like, oh, I want to leave, but I'm afraid. And finally I had gone to this conference, and I stood up in front of a room of 60 people, and that came out of my mouth. I want to leave, but I'm afraid. And I just like, damn it. Like, I'm tired of hearing myself say that. And so I just decided I was just going to go for it. And so, there were a lot of things going on behind the scenes with corporate and all that they were starting to just like ducks, getting pecked by a duck.
Yeah.
That saying.
Yeah.
And after a while, like, I want to kill this duck. And so all these little things kept compounding, and I just wanted something different.
And so then that those milestones, or those almost like not fake goals, but maybe the milestone or the goal shifts, and it's less about like hitting this number, or less about doing what you always did, less about letting fear dictate it.
Yes. And I think, part of it was just like when I had that eye-opening experience in front of 60 people, at that point, it started to become like it didn't quite matter as much. And so I just started getting my ducks in a row before I actually left. I talked to a good friend in HR. I'm like, hey, is there like some kind of 20-year bonus thing I don't know about?
Yeah.
And she's like, no. I'm like, so that's the thing, is like we create this loyalty in our heads that is only one way. Like, they can be a good company, they can have benefits, but if you got to go, you're out. And they have no qualms with that. And so it took a while to learn it. I mean, especially with my Marine Corps background, like loyalty is huge to me. And they were good people. So I felt like if I leave, I'm leaving them, with all my projects and things like that. Yeah. They're fine.
Yeah, I know. I remember feeling the same thing. It was like having people depend on me. And that was a responsibility like I had worked for, and that I thrived off of. And to then feel like I wasn't being loyal to the collective mission that I had spearheaded. I was no longer being loyal to the people who had said, Britt, we'll follow you into the fire. I was no longer being loyal to those things that had once, like, that I had craved. And that was a real big shift for me too, recognizing, like, I think that there are some things that we stay loyal to in our lives that are actually no longer serving us anymore.
Absolutely. And I found, like, I can't tell you how many vacations I started with a migraine, because I was so worked up with, oh my gosh, I got to get this ready and this ready and this ready. And so they can hand it off, and what's going to happen if I'm gone, and I'm checking my email and all that. And so, you go on vacation for 7 days, the first 2 days I have a migraine, and then I just start to feel better and having fun. And then it's time to go home, and I get back. I'm like, okay, what happened? And they're like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
so pretty early on in my career, I just kind of had this epiphany, like, there's always going to be work. Like, the work is never finished. Even if you finish a project, you're moving on to another project. And so we just naturally carry this burden and this weight on our shoulders, like, especially if you want to be a high performer and good at your job, like, you're just always carrying that load. And some of it's, I would say a good majority of it, unless you work for a really bad company, it's all self-inflicted.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Which like makes you want to kick yourself in the butt. And also, like, it gives us this opportunity where we get to choose to take back our power. Like, we get to make a different choice. Mm-hmm. So for you, like, I want to leave. Oh, okay, it's out there, but I'm too scared. Okay, I'm not going to let fear control this destiny or this trajectory any longer. What was next then?
So I just made sure I got everything. I did all my research. I had actually built my website, done all these things. I was learning new things. So even at 1 a.m, I'm learning social media when I'm working on a major project, I was doing our timekeeping system. Mm-hmm. And so 20,000 paychecks were reliant on my team and I delivering. And so I was just trying to fit it all in. But it's one of those things, it's like, if you really want something bad enough, you have to, part of it is a passion. If you're following something that you're passionate about, those extra hours don't really matter because you're having fun, you're learning new things. So that's really what I was doing. And then one of my coworkers, I'd worked with her for 19 years. She died by suicide, and we were all stressed out. And so if you had ran into her, and we were all comparing notes, and you'd run into her in the lunchroom and like, how are you? And she's like, I'm stressed out. I'm like, all right, so we all are. And so it's really easy to not know what other people are going through. Yeah. And like I said, these burdens that we tend to carry. And so that, and then a few months later, one of my good friends died of ovarian cancer. And so those two things, as I'm putting in 18-hour work days to get my project done, the thing is like once she died, they moved all of our deadlines back by 3 months. And that was just the breathing room I needed to make it happen. So just otherwise I wouldn't have made it. I would not have made that deadline that they had. So, yeah. So those on top of my also aching, I just thought life is short. It's so funny. Like, we get so caught in our head with these blinders. Like, I kept thinking, like, if I leave, I'm going to be doing the same thing at another company. So I may as well stay where I have the security. And my best friend, who is also a Marine, she goes, what's the worst that happens, Tami? You just go get another IT job. I'm like, duh. like, why didn't I think of that? Like, to me,
Yeah.
it was like, I'm giving up everything. And if this doesn't work, I'm totally screwed.
I'm totally
And that
screwed.
was so not true.
So it's so crazy. I had my exact same moment just like that. I was actually reading a book and it was like, hey, you know, address your fears by really looking at them. So I was like, great, I'm going to do this. And so I sat down and I committed to, I'm going to write down my fear and I'm just going to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper so that maybe I can just stare this thing in the face and I can figure out what's next for me. And I remember writing down, it was like, okay, what happens? I completely blow up my life. And I put financial pressure on my family and just kept going down the rabbit hole, like letting myself go there, giving myself space to go down the rabbit hole. Because I think sometimes we avoid that at all costs. And I'm not saying it's healthy to stay in the rabbit hole. For me, it was really eye-opening because at the bottom of the rabbit hole was, what do you do about it? Well, I go and I get another job. And then it hit me so black and white. Wait, my worst case scenario is my current reality. And I couldn't sit with that anymore. It was like, why wouldn't I try? Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't I make a change? Why wouldn't I do something? So, okay. So for you have this different desire pulling you forward. It's keeping you up at 1 o'clock in the morning to where you're like, I want to do more with this. Like, so what are you doing at 1 o'clock in the morning? And how does that end up turning into the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, so this was in 2014.
Okay.
And so a lot of the tools that we use now that make things so much easier, like Zoom and StreamYard and, you know, all that stuff, it wasn't as prevalent then. And so it was so interesting because here I'd been in tech for 20 years. I could launch a new website in a matter of like 5 minutes. And all of a sudden I'm just like, I get out in the public space. I'm like, how do I do this? You know? And so, and the great thing is like, when it comes to tech, like I can figure stuff out, like, let me get in there, I'll experiment and try it. And so I just found all of it super fascinating. And to see like people were making all this crazy money on their terms and this freedom. And, you know, now we know how much some of that is false, you know, people just pretending they're not, but
yeah.
In general, to know that I couldn't, like, I kept asking for a raise. I wanted a promotion. They kept telling me like, oh, you know, we can't right now.
Budget's too tight.
Yeah. Like, you know, you're at the top of your pay range. Oh. And I'm like, there's $3,000. I want those at least last $3,000. And then we can have that conversation. And so I just started, I got tired of being told no. And so I just wanted to see if I could do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how over the last, because you said you've been in entrepreneurship now for 12 years, what has that looked like? Like if you could kind of, I know, like sum it up, but still give us the juicy parts. Okay.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting because as a Marine, like I wasn't prepared for the emotional aspects of it. Like when I left, one thing that I just took for granted in my corporate days that I realized once I became an entrepreneur was how dialed in I was with my schedule, my structure, how I fit everything in, my meal prep, my food. Like I was so fit and energetic and still getting all these things done. But then also when I became an entrepreneur, it's like, oh, I'm enjoying my coffee. Oh, let me write this blog post. Oh, I'm going to skip the gym today. And it's so different. And I always described it as you have 24/7 to do whatever the hell you want. And so it's like getting lost at sea when it comes to time. And so, analogy. Yes, the 9 to 5, you know, it can be confining, but it can be a gift too. And so no matter where you're at, really dialing in those routines. And so that was one of my bigger issues. And then just when I'm home, working at home, you know, I was single, no kids. My dog had passed right before I left my corporate job too. So all of a sudden I was like total silence in my home and like to walk away from all that security. Like, what are you doing? I could be like, hey honey, you cover the mortgage. I'm going to try this thing out. And if it doesn't work out. So it was different, but it was so great. And then, you know, at first you're like, okay, I want to make the same money I was making, or I want to, I don't know, you're just trying to, you know, like try to fit it into this container of what your corporate life was like.
Yeah.
But I finally just got and that fear. So I'm like watching my savings. I'm not investing in myself. I'm not doing all these things. And finally, 2008 into 17 and 18, I just started investing in myself in such a big way. And 2018, so far of my entire life, will always be my favorite because I said yes to everything.
Yes.
I've traveled to 12 countries. Woo! If there was a cool conference, I just met so many amazing people. And I just thought, man, this is my life. Like I'm sitting there talking with an astronaut and a pro tennis player. And, it's like, you just never know who you're going to meet. Whereas in my corporate days, I work with the same people for 20 years,
You said something so key that like gave me it hit me in the gut because I've seen it even happen in my own journey where so you all of a sudden have this, you have this wide open, I love the lost at sea analogy. You have this wide open ocean and anything is possible in the ocean, but you're still trying to, or at least like in my case, I was still trying to navigate the ocean with the same tools, with the same boat, with the same like beliefs, with the same, this is how it's got to look if I'm going to find the next shore. And I think that there's still pieces of even on my own journey, because I'm only 2 years into entrepreneurship, where I still see some of those habits where I'm trying to sift through, okay, what from corporate has served me well and can still serve me well, like the structure. I think you're spot on with that. And what maybe conditioned programming is part of like is no longer serving me and my new life and my new identity and the new goals and the new business and the new impact and all of these new wonderful things. They don't fit into the same boat. So why am I still trying to put it there? So that was really, thank you for acknowledging that.
Well, and it took a while to discover that, like, cause you just have this thing, it's like nagging at you. You can't really figure out why. And so to really take the time to be reflective along the way and to look at like, okay, what's working, what isn't, why am I bothered by this? And, is it more that I'm trying to pull in the past to the future where it doesn't belong? And so it took a long time. Like I wish I had this wisdom and peace with entrepreneurship now that I had when I started my journey, because that would have been a totally different experience.
Totally different experience. Okay, so now tell us a little bit about like where you're at today, where the business has transformed into.
Yeah, so in my business earlier, like I was doing adventure retreats around the world because I found, like, for me and my personal journey, that outside of the corporate, outside of the military, the things that I discovered the most about myself were always on an adventure. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was doing this. And so to be able to give entrepreneurs that gift, take them out of their zone, have these deeper conversations that you just can't, like if you're really busy and you meet on a 30-minute Zoom, like you're not going to get as deep. No. And so, so to do that it was such a gift. And then the pandemic hit. And so I thought, okay, now what does my business look like? And so I had to pivot. It took a little bit. We talk about like the unjuggling the struggle. Like the last few years were quite a big struggle for me. And then when AI came out, then I finally decided to fully lean back into my tech space. And so AI, I'm just having so much fun, like creating stuff, and yeah, it's great.
Okay. What has been, just like whether it's something you do in your business or something personally, what has been your, like one of your most favorite, I know that's not a term, but it's a term in my words, most favorite things that you have created with AI? She's laughing. I love it. Okay, it's going to be so good. I can tell.
Well, so I was watching these other people that I follow online, and they were having health struggles. And so they were really digging into creating their AI clone. And I got migraines a lot. In the last few years, I was really getting a lot of them. And so I just thought, like, I kept telling myself, I need to show up more on social media. But I'm like, oh, I feel like crap. I just haven't showered yet. And so I started paying attention. So I thought, let me just try it. Because as a Marine, integrity is everything to me. And so to have this fake picture of me, that I had to come to terms with that too. And I realized, like, it's not like I'm still using my professional photos that I based that on. And so to me, AI is like pulling together the best of you on every day. You know, like, because sometimes when you're talking, like something comes out of your mouth, you're like, damn, that was brilliant.
Good.
Yeah. And then, or other times like, woo, my hair looks good today, you know? And so you can manipulate AI to pull in all that stuff and be on point every single moment. And so, so back to your question, I created this clone of me, and the very first picture was like spot on. Like, oh my God, this is brilliant.
Yes.
And so then I kept playing, and I was up until like 2 a.m, and it was like the best $6 I had spent in my entire business. And I'm cracking up because sometimes it'd be like way off base. And then I took one. I'm like, her hair looks really good. So I uploaded to AI. I'm like, I love her hair. I'm getting ready to do a speaking engagement. How do I get my hair like this? And it said, go buy this product, and this product. And then you blow dry like this and you style it like that. And sure enough, I did it. And granted, I didn't look quite like the picture, but I really liked how it came out.
Even
and
better.
I've totally changed my products since then. And
wow.
Like I've always been
look at your hair.
Yeah.
Look at your hair.
No, I've always been on top of my hair, but it totally shifted the way I looked at how I was styling. So it was just a fun thing. You know, it's not always about business, but it's like, how can I make my life better? And in the Marines, we always say, always improve your position. So how can I always improve my position? And so no matter what I'm doing, I'll turn around and ask AI like, hey, this is what I just did today. How can I make this better?
Ooh, so good. So good. Why, how, okay. So I hear people have more fear of AI than embracing. I do think it's shifting. However, I still and AI is not my space. So I'm curious, your expert opinion, like where's the market really at when it comes to AI?
Yeah. Well, so I have an advantage because, like I said, I started my job in tech at the engineering firm before the internet came out.
Yeah.
And so like the internet launched in like March of 93. I did my first website in 95. And so I've watched this journey and how it goes. And it was that same thing. It was like all those same fears, like email. I didn't do online banking for the longest time, or definitely not on my phone. I did not trust it at all.
Yeah.
And so it is a journey. And so I just feel like if you're willing to experiment, but you have to always protect yourself. Because even now with some of the things going on, there's just hackers. They do this crazy stuff. They embed things in websites. And when AI hits it totally does stuff to your machine. Yeah. So you have to know what you're doing. But as far as the fear goes, like I said, you just have to be willing to experiment, because it's easy. It's just like anything. Outside looking in of anybody's life or anything, it's easy to make judgments. But until you actually try it and do something simple, like, you know, search for a recipe and then you connect chat and have it go buy your groceries. And within 30 minutes, you can have all the ingredients of the recipe you just found. Like, hello, moms.
Come on. So
right?
good. So good. Yes.
Yeah. And once you experiment that, or once you get a taste of that, then you're like, ooh, what else can I do? Ooh, what else can I do?
Yeah. Where's a good place for people to start? Because like the example that you just gave about like recipe, and then it goes and it does the grocery shopping for you, and then you've got groceries on your doorstep within a couple hours. Like I think that until we're exposed to that level of thinking, or we're exposed to the possibility, sometimes it's so hard for us to even think that that's something that we could get help with, first off, and that we could get help from AI with. So like where would someone even just start thinking about the possibilities of AI?
Well, all the different platforms, they have a free version. I mean, granted, you can't do a lot of queries, but just look at your day. Like if all of a sudden you just wasted like 3 hours trying to figure something out, doing something, or it just like, you're like, oh, I really wish I could get that off my plate. Just say, hey, this is what I just did today. I spent 3 hours doing X. I just feel like it can be more efficient. How can I use AI to make this better? Or what aspect of it that could I do? And then maybe it's something like it'll write a prompt for you, and then you just save that prompt in a note and you run it every time you need to go do that 3-hour thing that annoyed you.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. So I'm curious if you think of something that maybe you're like unjuggling right now. 2 questions, like, what's something you're unjuggling right now? But then also, are you using AI in this thing that you're in juggling?
Oh,
Just out of
absolutely.
curiosity? Yes. Okay, tell us everything.
Constantly.
Tell us everything.
So like I said, the last few years have been a challenge. Like first once I could do my retreats, and I'm like, now what am I gonna do? And then I was traveling, but I thought, do I really want to take this on for other people? Like, so it was just like this weird place. And so, and then I was invited to race across America. And so, because of my Facebook profile, like they saw my post, we had a lot of synergies. I'm very active in charities, especially veteran charities. And they invited me to join the team. And so I was assistant crew chief, and the crew chief was a Navy SEAL. And so we had to plan and navigate all the logistics and everything to race across America. And so I thought, and I just come off of getting COVID, and COVID kicked my ass. Like I was out for 6 weeks. Like I didn't leave my house. It was pretty brutal. And so to me, that was like the first little chink, like the first little duck, we talk about. Because all of a sudden, as a Marine, like the strong fit Marine, I was working out like sometimes 3 times a day. And all of a sudden I got knocked on my ass. And at the same time I turned 50. And so all of a sudden it just made me face my mortality. Like I'm just not like that. Like all of a sudden I just didn't feel like that anymore. So there was that. So just as I was coming out of COVID, I got asked to race across America. And that was like 7 months of intense, just nonstop planning. And then the race itself, I like to describe it as, it's kind of like racing across America, drunk driving.
Oh my gosh.
I know it doesn't sound smart, but I had an hour and a half sleep. Or I'm sorry, I had 10 hours sleep across 6 days. Yeah. So I was like taking little cat naps where I could, and I'm the one driving across country. So that's why, and so I think and I'm living on monsters. So I totally think I blew up my adrenals at the same time.
Oh, I bet. So
just the stress, it wasn't as fun as I thought I was going to be. And then just coming out of COVID too, like that probably wasn't the smartest move. And so ever since then, so I came back from that trip and I was just like, I was totally unhappy. I just started to date my boyfriend. And so I just kind of stepped away from business a little bit more, spent more time with him. We travel a lot. And then just trying to figure out what those next steps look like. And then just heading into menopause. And so I think it's just, as women, yes, now I feel like I see menopause stuff everywhere. And I don't know if it's just because I'm in there and I'm getting targeted.
The red car theory.
Yeah. But I feel like as women, like it becomes like these little slow declines. And we just kind of like, we just ignore it. Like, okay, just get better sleep, eat better, Tami, and especially as a Marine, like I totally beat myself up.
Yeah.
Like,
just push through,
just get it together, Yeah. And so finally I just started this last year. I thought, you know what, something's got to change. I started looking more into peptides. I started looking into hormone therapy, and it's been a total game changer. And I was like, man, I wish I had done this 5 years ago instead of letting it be the slow decline. And so I just wish more people would have that conversation, especially when it comes to like testosterone for women.
Okay. So what have you learned over the last year then about, or you said this was in December?
Yeah.
That you really...
Right? Yeah, so testosterone
in the last few months, and how it's changing things for you.
Yeah, like I know women need it. So an ideal range for a woman is like 100 to 150. I was at 6.
Ooh.
And so when they gave me my first testosterone shot, within 15 minutes, like all of a sudden I could think, I'm like, and it was just because I was so depleted. And what happened is like the last couple of years, like my mood has just been flat. Like I'd never really I couldn't cry if I wanted to. I'd never really get really happy over things. I just felt like just so flat. And I'm like, and I didn't like it because I've always been driven. I've always been positive. And so the testosterone impacts your brain fog. It can help with, or it can also help with the headaches. And so I was getting to the point in my business, like I was afraid to take on clients because I never knew how I was going to, like if I could think
if you were going to be able to have or if you're going to have a migraine or not.
Either migraine or just brain fog. Like I just could not freaking think. And so, and to me being in tech, like that's what people pay me for. They pay me for my brain, And so all of a sudden in 15 minutes, I felt better. I was like, what? And so now it's been 3 months. My number's at like 250. I feel tremendous. I put on 3 pounds muscle right away. Like I feel like more me again. And so now I'm doing the things that I used to do, the things that make me happy. And then I added in estrogen and progesterone too.
Yep.
Estrogen helped with my mood. And she said, it's going to be really subtle. She's like, it's going to be like 5-6 weeks. And all of a sudden you're going to be like, hey, I'm happy.
Hi.
And sure enough, it was like that. Like all of a sudden I was like kind of giggling. I was like, hey, I'm kind of happy.
Hi.
I know, right? And so but testosterone to me, I think it was just like the biggest thing, especially when it came to drive. Like I missed that drive, especially just as a Marine. Like I felt so disconnected from my identity.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. And you're so right. Even too, like I hear it in conversations, even with amongst my own community too, where they're just like, yeah, just meh. How are things? Meh, 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 meh. It's like it's this like where's the excitement again? Where's that? And it could absolutely be a hormonal thing going on as much as an environmental thing.
Yeah. And then I actually just saw this email on high performance, and it just talked about the thing that we've been missing in our life. And I think it's just from like all the stimulation that we get from social media and just the news and just everything going on, is that awe. Like you just kind of like, when was the last time you were actually in awe of something? You know?
That makes me so sad. That hurts my heart.
But it's just like anything. It becomes a practice. Like, how can I create that? Or how can I be in awe? Like, look, like we used to be in corporate sitting in cubicles, and now we're in this gorgeous day having this great in-depth conversation and hopefully helping other people, like that is what we should be in awe.
In awe. Yes. Ooh, I love that. You're right. I would be really interested to see that email or that article if you wouldn't mind sharing it.
Yeah, I'll have to find it.
Would be because I think that's so often what I observe and what I don't. Oh man, I'm like being really hard on myself here, but I don't know if I have empathy for it. Like because I think that being able to find ways to be in awe, that's a choice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, like you just stand up on it. For me, I've always felt like if I can feel expansive, like, so if I'm standing on top of a mountain, no matter what's going on in my life, like I just feel possibility. Yeah. And so you have to find like those little moments that can bring that for you and just practice it occasionally.
Yes. So good. Okay. So with your hormones, is AI what led you to like having that conversation with the doctor, or what role did AI play over the last few months for you with this?
Yeah. So I definitely did deep research. I wanted to know like the medical studies, because for a long time, I remember being in my 30s talking to one of my friends in her 50s, and she's like, oh, whatever you do, don't mess with your hormones. And so it was something I was never going to consider. And then they found that one of the reasons that came from is like back in, I don't know, whatever year, that some women had gotten breast cancer from doing HRT. But then now you look at it, it wasn't a very good study. It wasn't a very controlled study. And it's just like anything. We could be getting cancer from anything. It may not necessarily be related to that.
Yeah.
And so there are statistics that like I want to say 1 in 4 women were on HRT way back in the day.
Really?
And now it's 1 in 20.
Oh.
Because people got afraid of it.
Oh, interesting.
And so you think about now you have like 19 more miserable women than you had before.
This is going so well for the universe.
So I just think like just finding the right practitioner, somebody who truly gets it and that's open-minded, because when you do just like go to your primary doctor and they're just like, oh, your number's in the range, or a male doctor be like, this is menopause, like, all right. But I think that our society has also taken the shift of being proactive when it comes to wellness. And so if you find somebody that's wellness oriented, like I absolutely love my doctor. And I told her about how I was feeling, what my mood was like on a day-to-day, some of the things I was dealing with, my migraines and all the things I was afraid of. And she just said that, we'll just go really slow. And then this is what you can expect. And, we don't want to overdo it. And Yeah. So it's been great.
Okay. And you were testing that against AI the whole time.
Definitely. And so I had a male doctor before her, and he, doctors are so busy, they'll give you like this, 5-minute explanation of your labs or 10 minutes or whatever. So I took my labs and I put them into ChatGPT.
Ooh.
I just took screenshots of the pieces, so it didn't have like all my information. And I just said, hey, can you explain to me what this means? Or here are my results. This is what I'm feeling. And then it would tell me, this is probably why you're feeling this way. But AI actually confirmed what he had said. So that made me feel better. They were on the same page. Like it wasn't a contradiction, but it just went so much deeper. So then I could really have a conversation and understand it better.
You're so right. Because how many times do we leave the doctor's office and we're like, well, they said it was 42, but apparently that's bad. And you're like, but what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
Like, how is it? And I don't think it's for lack of trying with the doctors, but to your point, it's like they're in their room for 5-10 minutes. They give you your results. You say, hey, here's what you can do to make things better. But we don't always walk out actually understanding, hey, if this was even just a little bit higher, I would have more energy, or I would get better sleep, or this is maybe what's causing my headaches. And if I do this instead. And so it almost, I see how it probably made you so much more like equipped, like just to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be like, here's the normal range. It's like, yes, I'm on the normal range, but I'm on the low end. And what if optimal for me is on the higher end and I'm still being safe? I'm still in the range. And so that's why having a doctor that's more proactive on that kind of stuff, like, okay, and so as we were doing my testosterone, I said, I like it, but I kind of feel like there's just a little bit more. And so we raised it a little bit more. And I said, I don't want to go any higher. I feel like this is exactly where I need to be. And she was great. So, and then same with estrogen, like the number, I think the normal range it's well over 100 there as well. And I was at 10. So I was like totally depleted on everything. It's like, no wonder. Yep. And the thing is like when it affects your mood, then it's easy to spiral about like, what's wrong with me? Or, I'm getting old now. And like, I don't want to go down that path. It's not who I am naturally,
No. And so now that you're in this spot with your hormones too, what have you seen? I'm sure you've seen drastic changes in your business over the last few months then.
Oh my God.
Tell me more.
Since December, when I started this, I've launched 3 offers. I've created 3 offers. I've written 2 children's books. I have another one that I just need to sit down for 2 hours, and that one will be done. I'm helping my boyfriend.
It's good to have friends.
My boyfriend launch his first spy thriller.
Cool.
I've done custom work for, just different people. And so I like it because like a lot of times people, like you said, people don't know what to ask for with AI.
Yeah.
And so for me is to be able to sit into a room and hear people like, ooh, you could do that. You could do that. You could do that. And so I'm just having fun because I never know like what kind of project I'm going to get into next.
So cool. And I saw you do that in our mastermind when we were all in the room together. We're all in Danelle's living room and folks are talking. You're like, you could get AI to do that for you. Yeah, AI could do that for you. You know what? Let me help you. And I will get AI to do that for you. So, okay. What are you launching now?
Yeah. So a year and a half ago, when I started building on my own AI, I just started looking at the things that I wanted, like as a solopreneur, the things that I felt like I needed, like more social media. I wanted to do blogging. I wanted to do more authority things. And so I was using AI to do it, but the output was just terrible. Like it was so generic and so boring. And I thought I need to keep bringing more and more of me into it. And so I built out this whole brand foundation. And so, and it's structured so AI can understand it. So then that way, because even if you brought on a team member, like you brought on a VA, like they need to know you if they're going to be producing stuff out there. And so a year and a half, I did that and I've been using it all this time. And now I'm watching people struggle or they're just getting on board. And I realize like how far off they really are. And then one of my pet peeves is you see people, they're regurgitating the news, like AI news, and then they just slap their logo or their opinion on it, or their voice. And so it sounds like they're really smart when they really just took this article that showed up on Google and then they put their little spin on it and off it goes.
Yeah.
And to me, back to the integrity piece, as a Marine, like I have really cool stories that people can learn from. I'm like, how can I transfer that to AI? And so to be able to help other entrepreneurs build that same system for themselves. Because I also learned early on, like, you have to be flexible. Like at the time, like, I would work on one tool and then they would have a bug and then I couldn't move forward. And so I'd have to switch to another tool and I didn't want to have to recreate everything all over again. And so to be able to be nimble like that and to move around. And if you want to use 6 different things, all 6 things are on the same page.
It creates your brand foundations off of your voice, your stories, like
your experience.
Yep. Brilliant.
Yep. And,
Brilliant.
AI can help, package all that together better, but it's still the nuance of what you believe and it's all baked in there. And so
good.
That's really where the power is. And so I'm excited to share this because I built out a little software that did like one teeny tiny piece of it. And people were like, oh my God, this is amazing. It shifted everything. Like, oh my gosh, you haven't even scratched the surface.
You're like, that's 0.01%, 0.01%. Let me give you 100% of this kind of support that you can then just use to amplify your business, build your business, like truly as the foundational platform, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I see some other influencers talking about this as well, but then I dig into what they're doing and it's not even close. Like they don't take it to that depth because to me, when I left my corporate job, kind of come back full circle, when I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my business, I knew without a shadow of doubt, I want it to be built around me. Because if I change my mind, people know and trust me. And so, or if I decide like, hey, kind of like with I didn't want to be a software developer anymore, but I built that trust. And so now if I decide I want to do adventure retreats, people trust me. If I want to do AI, people trust me. Yep. And so that's why I drive from personal brand. And so to help people really get that dialed in, to me, it's also it's helped me get organized. Like, because you can have these thoughts about what you want your brand to be, or maybe you create this offer and this one, but they're all kind of disjointed. By creating this foundation, it's gotten me so clear. I feel like a freaking laser now of like where I'm going.
Yes. And if you are so clear on that, that's the exact kind of like superpower that ends up helping and transforming other entrepreneurs' lives.
Yeah, because conviction sells. And if you're feeling confused, you're not coming across with that conviction. Whereas, if AI is helping you come across stronger on the days when you're not feeling so strong, because like I said, it's you at your very best day every day, then it just creates more power.
So good. So good. Okay, so then how can somebody who wants to work with you, where can they get in touch with you?
TamiMcVay.com is where you can find me. And then I'm on all the socials. So I hang out mostly on Facebook. There I'm the Tami McVay. But yeah, that's where I am. And then my offer will be coming out in April. And so I'm excited for that.
I love it. So for your offer specifically, where can they go?
TamiMcVay.com.
Okay, awesome. And it'll all be there.
Yeah, because it'll be live. Oh, that's right. So it'll launch on April 22nd. The doors open April 5th. But it'll be linked to my website as well.
So good. Yeah. So good. All right, Tami. So before we get into the final part of the podcast where I've got something planned for you. Anything else, just when you kind of reflect back on this conversation, anything else on your heart that you want to put out there for the person who's listening? They're now invested in your journey a little bit. Just something that they may need to hear. Speak loudly because
honestly, I think it just comes down to trust. Like just trusting yourself, trusting that you'll figure it out. Trust that you have the resources at your fingertips now with AI. Like if there's anything you're confused on, and then trust that the right people will come in your life. So, I just think it all comes down to trust. And when I've gone through these last challenging years, it was all about rebuilding trust for myself, and it comes back, much faster than you could think.
What a message of hope too. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, so the last part of the podcast, there's 3 little things. Okay, so the first thing, I have talked a lot about just in my own personal journey, quitting things no longer serving you. So when I say that phrase, quitting things no longer serving you, what comes to mind?
I actually think it was just these last few years. Like I let myself dwell in that place for far too long. And so, so I have quit what was no longer serving me. But it's still a journey. You know, there are good days and bad days, but that's the first thing that came to mind for me.
I love it. Good, good. Okay. And then I always have the last podcast episode leave the next guest a question. So I know Ashley, she is the Ashley Holt. She is the founder of She Means Business magazine. She's a total powerhouse, Ashley Holt Media. Her question, I actually am going to answer in a solo episode. So, you get my question instead, okay? But I still want to make sure that she gets noted of that. So my question instead is, what is one move that you are going to make in the next 60 days that gets you one step closer to your goals?
Oh, launching this program for sure. Woo! Only because it's bothered me for the last year and a half that other people didn't have this. And so I feel like it's going to be a game changer for so many people. And so I'm excited for that. That's going to be the move.
So good. And so full of impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. And then last but not least, now you, my friend, must leave a question for the next podcast guest. So it can be absolutely anything, but whatever. And sometimes I know who the next guest is going to be, and sometimes I don't know. Either way, it's whatever question you want to ask.
So for me, I think like the greatest growth I've had in my life is when I leaned in harder on the things that just brought me joy and passion and things that I was just totally interested about. Like if I didn't really want to pursue it, like that was okay. But I learned a lot about myself, what I liked and didn't like. I like to say, how do you know you're not the next Picasso if you've never painted? You know, so my question to them would be, where do you need to lean in harder that you've been afraid of?
That's a good one. Okay. And then often that question kind of meets us right where we need it. So how would you answer that for yourself?
I think it's just leaning in harder on the AI side publicly. Like I'm building like crazy behind the scenes. I'm totally having fun, but I'm doing people a disservice by not sharing that. So,
and I won't leave you hanging. I'll answer too. Same, like in not in AI necessarily, but in I've been doing a lot of work over the last 2 years in my entrepreneurial journey, in expanding in ways I never knew that I apparently had been praying for.
Yeah.
And so actually like leaning in and sharing that, because to your point, I know I'm doing such a disservice to everybody who's even considering this type of journey, or who's considering like making that jump or pursuing a desire or a passion or just changing their life because they just want to change their life. And by keeping the things that I've learned and keeping that growth to myself, I'm ready to like step out in courage. That's what I'm ready to do.
That's beautiful. It's powerful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that beautiful question.
Yeah, the world is ready for you.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. All right, my friend. I love this. This was amazing. Thank you so much. I will make sure that everything gets in the show notes too. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. It means the world to me that you're here to ride in the struggle bus with me, and that you're willing to consider different perspectives, tools, and techniques that just might provide a little bit of relief and get you one step closer to the abundance that is available and waiting for us all. I hope you take a moment to grant yourself some grace where you've been denying it, some love where you didn't realize maybe it was right in front of you, and some faith where you thought all was lost. If this episode had an impact on you, would you please share a comment with a review? I'd love to hear what landed for you, and it helps us get the word out to our fellow struggle bus riders. So please review what was impactful for you. Just know these episodes are a pure labor of love in a space where I'm growing alongside you. I'm evolving every day, and I look forward to all the ways and the things and the perspectives and opinions and choices that will change over the course of time in my own life, day to day. Until next time, just know that you are loved, you are divinely cared for, and in the struggle, the journey of this life really is beautiful. I'm glad that we're in it together. Cheers.